everyone, Chef Steve here. Today's recipe calls for a pot of delicious vegetable soup with chicken flavoring. Not going to actually be a chicken in here, it'll just be for the flavoring. It will be a purely vegetable soup. We will be adding some great spices in here. We're going to keep the sodium level low, not too much salt to be used here. Of course, you can adjust these things to your own liking, but you know, for all you health-conscious soup lovers out there, or those looking to watch your blood pressure, I think this soup is for you. We're gonna have some good vegetables in there. We're gonna have your celery. We're gonna have your spinach. We're gonna have dill. We're gonna have parsley. We're gonna have carrots, and of course noodles. I think this is the kind of soup you're really gonna love and appreciate, especially let's say you got a cold, you got a sore throat going on, or allergies are at it. You know, weather's cold. You come in from shoveling snow, so there's nothing like having a nice big bowl of soup. I think this is something you're really gonna like. It's fairly easy to make. I've been making it myself for years already. So just kind of follow along. You can adjust things to your will, but do follow my template. And I guess without further ado here, let's get cooking. All right, now let's go over our ingredients here. We're gonna have we have your dill, we have your parsley. We're gonna wash and chop that up. Similar for the celery, we're gonna cut up the celery. We have our egg noodles here. Over here we have the granulated bouillon that I'm gonna use, the Herbox sodium free. This is to give it its chicken flavoring. We have salt, white salt, but we're gonna use it very conservatively. We're not gonna, drown the whole thing in salt. We're just gonna add a little bit to give it a little touch of salt. We have black pepper. Gonna add a little bit of curry, a little bit of turmeric, a little cilantro. Of course, we have the matchstick carrots I'm going with. Usually I use a regular carrot and, slice it up, cut it up, but I'm gonna go with the matchstring carrots this time. And there's your fresh spinach, most of a bag anyway. These are the ingredients that will go into our delicious vegetable soup. So let's get at it. First things first, we are gonna fill our pot. I'm gonna go about 2/3 of the way with water, and then we're gonna get it on the flame. This will probably take a good 20 minutes or so at least. So during this time, as we wait for it to boil, we are gonna start cutting up the veggies. Next going in is the celery, the dill, and the parsley. I'm gonna cut up the celery next. And also, you don't want to use too much dill. The taste of dill is kind of heavy and overpowering. I love dill, but I don't want to use the whole batch, otherwise it will be overpowering. I'm now gonna kind of chop and cut everything here so that that will be the first vegetable going into the soup. Okay, the celery is chopped, and the dill and parsley, I actually like to cut it. Makes it a little easier to work with in the soup. And it also kind of gets mixed together. I mix everything together, and this all will get mixed together into this bowl. That whole bowl will go into the soup at once. And done. By the way, sometimes people don't use the stalks for the dill and the parsley. A lot of times I know people will get rid of it. But I think it's good in the soup. It actually, it cooks in there, and it's really a good part of it. So I tend to leave the stalks on as far as dill and the parsley go. Okay, let's see how we're looking. It's getting there. While we wait, I'm gonna empty the contents of the carrots and the spinach into these bowls. This way, we're just gonna dump them in at once. Okay, and time to add the Herbox. And it goes. Make sure everything is emptied out and in there. Then, of course, we will need to give a little stirring to it. Have to stir the pot, if you will. And we're gonna wait a little more till this boils. And we are gonna keep stirring it for a while. Let it mix in there nicely. Okay, and yeah, things should be coming to a boil very shortly, at which point we're gonna add our spices. That's when we're gonna add salt. pepper, little curry, turmeric. And again, you would use, you could go with the amount you're choosing. If you really want a lot of salt in your soup, you can certainly add it. I'm just gonna kind of keep it fairly light. But again, it is up to you to add or not add what you choose. Okay, and up to you, optional, of course. There's other spices you can add. Basil is a good one. I do add basil sometimes, or oregano. Sometimes I do add garlic powder or onion powder to the mix. If you really want a spicy version of the soup, certainly you can add the crushed red pepper or the sriracha. Again, that's if you're in that spicy mood for a spicy soup, I would add that. For now, though, we're going to stick with the ones I had pointed out, which would be the salt, black pepper, a little curry, turmeric, and I am going to add the cilantro in there. So I think we are getting just about at that boiling point here. So in about a moment, I'm going to start adding the spices in and the salt, and give it a few more stirs. After that, we're going to get our vegetables in. And there she boils. So at this point, let's start adding, again, salt. I'm just using a not crazy amount. Again, you could use more, you could use less, just a dab more, but your choice. You can always add it later, of course. We're gonna get some black pepper going here. Not too overboard, but enough to give it a little kick. And some curry. Similar thing, I don't usually add too much, but just enough. Similarly for turmeric. It will slightly, of course, give it a more orangey color. Okay. And I can use a dab of cilantro in here. And of course, some more stirring. We're gonna let all this kind of come together. Get a little more of a goldenish look. And then we're gonna start in with the vegetables. Usually after doing that, of course, I will cut things up more. And the finer the better once it's in. Again, this is your kind of thing. If you don't want to cut it down further, you don't have to. But me, I tend to do that. We're gonna let this simmer a little bit before including the carrots. That'll be next. Of course, as you see by adding that, the soup rises a little higher there. The water from those vegetables is actually added a little to the pot. Similar will be for the carrots. Same for the noodles. As they absorb the water, become bigger, and raise the pot too. That will, this pot will be at the top, the very top before it's done. Okay, next we're gonna do carrots. Let's see if this one bowl cuts it. Give a stir. I probably will wind up adding the other one. And we're just gonna give it a little time and see. There's actually 1.5 bags of those matchstick carrots. It's probably about half a bag of the spinach. So we're gonna wait a little while. We've got to do some more stirring. As you can see, that level on the pot, it is going up. And again, as I mentioned before, all is done and fully cooked, and it's gonna reach the top. Soon, though, we're going to give it a little sampling. Give a little check on the pillars of our creation here. So a lot of waiting and stirring for now. Probably for about another 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes, at least 10 minutes at least. I'm going to just keep stirring it, keep it on a high flame, and then going to have that little sample test. These vegetables do have to cook a little before we can really start to enjoy them. But let's give it a little more stirring and cooking time, and then we're going to have that sample bowl. After that, we're going to do the noodles, and now I'm going to start on the most unfortunate part of the process, the cleanup. Never fun, but I will start putting a few items away. Okay, well, we've waited at least 15, maybe more like 20 minutes actually so far for these vegetables to cook. A little bit, you know, it's still obviously more time, will be needed, but we should at least get a sampling of the taste at this point. So I think it's time to have that sample bowl, or at least a few ladles, just to see how we're doing. All right, let's have that taste. Just enough to get an idea where we're at. Very good, actually. Very good. We are indeed on the right track here. This is going to be another successful pot of soup. It is delicious. And there's more to go. There's more cooking to be done. And our next step is going to be the noodles. And here we go. By the way, I have used the Pennsylvania Dutch fine egg noodles. Well, we're going to have to do more stirring, waiting, cooking, that sort of thing. The noodles themselves, as they cook and expand, will actually bring this pot, as I said, right up to the rim again. All right, actually let this go for about 20 minutes with some stirring and cooking, stirring, cooking. The noodles have risen, and we are certainly ready for sampler number 2. This is what we're gonna have now. Yes, this has come out as I expected it to, on the money. Old world style, like kind of like a great grandma made kind of soup. It is spot on. Okay, so our cooking time is in total from start to finish just about the 2-hour mark, and I think we're fully cooked here. I think we're ready to enjoy that first full bowl of soup. If only you could smell it. If only you could smell it from the internet. Ooh, magnifico. Serve some up. Delish. And of course, the taste test. Bon appetit. Oh, magnifico. Do forgive me if I slurp when I enjoy a soup a lot. I do tend to slurp. I think we have a successful vegetable soup here. I'm happy to have shared this with you. I wish I could pass it to you, but I don't think I can through the internet, other than to show you how I have created this in this video. I encourage you to make the same soup. As I said, it's an old world kind of soup, kind of like grandma, great grandma made long ago back in the days. It's the kind of soup you'll really want to have in the cold weather, or if you're sick, you have a cold or something. This is the ace in the hole, or if you just love soup like I do. So please, I encourage you, follow the video, create yourself a nice pot of this soup, and you will not regret it. Anyway, the soup is a success. So do enjoy your soup, everyone. Thank you again for watching. And until the next time, until the next video, keep on cooking.